Hey, so it's after training and I have to go to the store, which I really don't want to do, but that's how I feed myself. I fought last Saturday. Today is Thursday. It was my first fight since I had dengue fever, and I started to feel much better like in the last 3 days before my fight, which was kind of incredible. But I went up into Karat and fought against a woman that I fought almost exactly a year ago. Who's been an opponent of mine probably 4 times, she was fighting also, and I didn't have a corner, so I asked her corner to corner for me, and they were like, yeah, of course, no problem. And she's my next opponent, so that's fun. That's it's part of Muay Thai, is that you can be friends with people or friendly with people and also fight them. So I'm just getting back into training. I had to go do a trip, so I was gone for 3 days after my fight and just got back at like 3 in the morning on Wednesday morning, and went back to training yesterday afternoon, so Wednesday afternoon, and just kind of like kicking back into it. I don't really train like for fights, but getting back into training and like getting your strength up for a fight when you've been interrupted by traveling, because I travel for fights so much, that can be a little bit of a difficult point. But in my last fight, I was really proud of myself because when I fought this girl a year ago, Karahat had just switched my stance, like just, and she was the first opponent that I tried Southpaw in a fight with, because I'd been training with it, but Pinu was like, I've had students who have tried to switch their stance before and it's not good, so promise me you won't do it at a fight until you're ready, which I said okay to, but the problem with that is that I do not believe you should wait until you're ready for almost anything, because then you're waiting a lot, because being ready and being prepared are different things. So I kind of like fudged the word a little bit. I don't think I was prepared fully to be using it in fights yet, but I was ready because I wanted to use it. So she was the first one, and I think that I really only started out Southpaw in the first round and like tried it for 40 seconds before getting hit and switching back to my orthodox guard, which actually has been the story of the last year, is that I keep trying to do Southpaw in fights because that's what I've been working on. And I'll do it for a little while, but then when I get hit, I kind of like, it's not really panic, but it's like when you, whatever that duck hunt is, where the thing's like going and you hit it and it just like changes directions, like I just switched to my other stance. So I was really proud that in this fight I stayed in Southpaw almost the entire time. There were times that I switched to orthodox, but I used it instead of like being forced into it by stress or something. So I was really happy with that. It helped me stay closer, which was really good. I won on points. I won on points against her last time. She's bigger. She's a very tough opponent. Doing pin. She's crazy. So that was fun. That was really good. And I sent that fight to Karahat so that he could see how I'm developing with that. And I get to train with him again in a couple of weeks, which I'm really excited about. It's been a while. I actually really miss him. But I get to train with him in a couple of weeks, and I've been doing so much work on the things that he's been showing me with like the forward check and the way that he cuts angles and the way that I switch stance and things like that. I've been working on a lot since the last time I saw him, so I'm hoping that there's stuff for him to build on in the next one. I don't want to like impress him or anything, I know better than that, but having done all of this work, he can keep elaborating on the things that he's been showing me, which is really good. Last night was a super bummer because Snowflake, who's the dog that lives across the street, and I walk him twice a day with JD because he's just on a leash all the time. He's been really sick for like a month, and when we saw him last night, he's been inside all the time, so I don't really get to see him very much. He's really emaciated, he's really skinny, so like maybe a month ago, maybe a little more than a month ago, we came back from Chiang Mai, and like the same night we arrived home, he was like yelping in pain, and I ran downstairs from my apartment to take him off his chain and walk him, because he's called to me before when he really has to go to the bathroom. He has like diarrhea or something, and he was in a lot of pain. Like he was having a hard time, like pain going to the bathroom, and then he threw up a few times, and he just wanted to be in the grass. So I just like took him and let him like lay in the grass. I just like stood with him so he could lay in the grass. It was really, really upsetting. And then I talked to his owner a couple of times in the past month, and his owner was aware of his problem. And like when he eats, he was still outside sometimes. When he eats, he like cries in pain when he's eating, but it's not his mouth. It's like maybe he swallowed a shard of bone or something and it like scratched his neck, or maybe it's in his intestines or something. But because it's so painful for him to eat, he's just not. And so that's why he's lost so much weight. He's really skinny. But he will eat Chinese food, which we make, and it's really soft. It's like, we cook it for hours and hours and hours, so it's kind of like this blended down stew kind of thing, so it's soft food. And he still kind of makes these sounds when he's eating it, like it's uncomfortable, but he doesn't cry the way he does when he's eating like kibble and the things that his owner feeds him. So after last night, seeing in what a horrible way he is, Kevin and I decided we want to take him to a vet, but I have to ask this guy's permission, and Snowflake is inside all the time now. He's not outside, so I can't like just take him. So we were going to bring him today, but the guy was closed most of the day and he was inside, so we couldn't get to Snowflake. So when I finally saw him before training and I went over to say to him, I want to take your dog to the vet, he was washing Snowflake. He was giving him a bath so that he can take him to the doctor tomorrow. He says he has an appointment, and I do believe he'll take him to the vet, but the kind of downside of him taking him to the vet is that I know that if I take him, I know what the vet has done. I know what's been checked. I know what the prognosis and all of the things that are being looked at or not looked at, I know because I brought him. Whereas when this guy takes him, I don't know. Like maybe he's just bringing him to a clinic and they like see whether he has a parasite or not. I think he needs x-rays or something. So he's not my dog. I have to wait. So hopefully they go tomorrow and I can talk to him again and see what the doctor said. And if he doesn't say anything or doesn't know anything, I'll be like, I want to take your dog. Like I can follow up on it maybe a couple days later or something. But he looks terrible. He's so skinny, and it really bums me out. It breaks my heart. I love Snowflake a lot, but his spirit is really good. Like a couple of weeks ago, his spirit was really bad. Like it seemed like he was kind of giving up. But even though he's so skinny and emaciated, he has this like trot when he's running around that that shows that he's still got light in him, like he wants to push on. So hopefully we can kind of find a way to get his weight up. I'm gonna go to the store right now and get Chinese ingredients for his food, and I'll just, every time I see him, I'll try to feed Snowflake at the same time just so that he gets more nutrition, because he can eat Chinese food, and I don't think he's eating whatever this guy's feeding him, because kibble and stuff hurts. So that sucks. That's a bummer. But training is going really well. I'm working on elaborating on the things that I really liked in my last fight. So again, the forward check, the Southpaw, I've been trying to stay a lot closer and kind of like let my elbows come out more. I like threw one of the elbows that I've been working really, really hard on in my last fight, but that's cool that I threw one at all. I started working a lot on, I always teep, but like really being conscious about teeps. I was working on that today, and I had a lot of fun in my pad work with Pinu, like teeping him off of me, and I told him I was fighting this girl again as my next opponent, and she has this like jab cross that she does as her like way of covering distance. So I had him doing that to me as just kind of a thing to figure out how I want to deal with that, because it's definitely going to be happening. That's the extent to which I like prepare for anybody. And today, Kevin and I did the Samart Payakaroon Legends video for my patrons. That was cool. It was a cool session to do, and it was really cool to watch it again so that I could do the voiceover. I was not a Samart fan before I did that lesson, and then meeting him in person and seeing his insane balance and like how he can just move anywhere, like in person you can feel what kind of fighter he is. I became a huge fan of his, and I actually really enjoyed that session, so that was cool. That'll be up later this week. And Patreon also came out with this app. It's called Lens. It's basically Snapchat. Like they're short 15-second videos that are 24 hours or something, and then they disappear. I'm not young enough to know anything about Snapchat or care about Snapchat. I'm still on Facebook. But it's cool. I like lens, so I've been like shooting things at the gym, just like little snippets at the gym, because about a month ago, I made a video of Pinu making this chicken shake for me that you can go look at, and I just wanted people to like see what I was experiencing, but also see Pinu, because I talk about him all the time, and he's my trainer, and I love him so much. And everyone fell in love with him watching this video, so it's actually really good to be able to share the people I'm around, my trainer, and the people that I train with in these little snippets. And one of my patrons suggested a word of the day, like Thai vocabulary, so I've been doing word of the day as well, which has actually really been fun. So I try to make those public, so you can follow Lens without being a patron, so you can see the public videos, but you can't see the private videos. Those are only for patrons. So you can go check that out. It's a very cool app. You should download it. And if you become a patron, you can see all of those things. So I like playing with new things. I like creating new content. I like expanding on things. On Monday, Angie is fighting at Tepisit. It's her first fight back in Pattaya after fighting in Lumpini for months and months and months. She had 3 fights at Lumpini, so she was always fighting at Lumpini. So one, that's really good for her because it's less pressure. So her training camp for this has been much more relaxed. I say I don't really prepare for fights because I fight all the time, but fighters who don't fight all the time, like the boys who fight at Lumpini and Angie, they have training camps. I don't have training camps. But so it was cool. She got to be more relaxed, even though this is an important fight. She has like a side bet and things like that. She's training hard, but it's not as high stakes or whatever. And it's also like her homecoming. She gets to come back to Pattaya where she like became famous in the first place. So that's really cool. And I get to be in her corner, which at Lumpini I can't do. One, because she and I were actually fighting on the same day all the time. So I went to her first fight at Lumpini, and that was amazing, and she knocked the guy out. And then the next 2, I happened to be fighting on the same dates that she was fighting there, so I never got to go. And at Lumpini, I can't get near the ring because I'm a woman. So at Tepisit, I can be in her corner, like literally be in her corner and support her at the fight. So I'm really excited about that. Probably more so than she is about fighting, but I'm happy. And I've really enjoyed watching her get ready for this. The confidence and relaxation she has, not having to have all the pressure of Lumpini, is really good. But I also hope that she gets to fight at Lumpini or Rajadamnern or another big event fight later, because it's really good for the progress of non-cis men fighting in those stadia, so that's exciting to me. We're gonna go buy this food for the dogs. I'll keep you guys updated on Snowflake once I know. Hopefully he'll go to the doctor tomorrow and I'll know a little bit of something. But thank you guys for sitting through my long ass videos, and I'll talk to you later. It's Shity's sister over here in the driveway. What are you doing?